without the Trinity, every doctrine of the Christian faith comes tumbling down. And that it is the Trinity that upholds the doctrines that we believe. And nowhere is this more so than in the doctrine of salvation.
Trinitarianism is that there is one God in three persons. And the scriptures, by the way, Trinitarianism, the word Trinity is not in the Bible. The Trinity part right here, that's not in the Bible. It doesn't say that anywhere. Like rapture, the word rapture is not in the Bible. Neither is covenant of works and all the other things that theology has. But that God exists in three persons, I'll show you. It's all the way through the Bible.
So critical is this truth that J.I. Packer writes, quote, "The Trinity is the basis of the gospel. And the gospel is the declaration of the Trinity in action."
The best way to understand the Trinity that I always recommend is to connect the Trinity to the gospel as directly as possible. And one of the things this means is when you begin as a Christian thinking about the Trinity, you actually already have all the equipment you need in your mind and in your heart and in your experience. You've got all the pieces of the puzzle there. You just need to be able to see them all together to understand that what you're thinking about is the Trinity.
Ultimate revelation of the doctrine of the Trinity is found in the incarnation, ministry, death, burial, and resurrection of the second person of the Trinity, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, followed by the outpouring of the Holy Spirit of God promised by Jesus to his disciples.
We learned in chapter 1 that the man is made in the image of God, who said, "Let us make man in our image." Let us, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, make man in our image. The triune God who has always, for all eternity, existed in perfect unity and harmony within the Godhead. This one God in three persons. God the Father, the Son, and God the Spirit. God the Son eternally begotten of the Father, and God the Spirit eternally proceeding from the Father and the Son, makes man in his image.
No Trinity, no gospel. No Trinity, no gospel.
Let's put it in perspective. How did we get the Trinity doctrine? Or who gave it to us? Who were the people that gave us the Trinity doctrine? And the answer is easy, because it's recorded in history, and even today you can find it if you look closely enough. It was the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, that gave us the Trinity doctrine. If it was the Catholic Church that gave us the Trinity doctrine, then why are Protestants saying that it is a biblical doctrine? You see, the Catholics have for authority not just the Bible. Really, the Bible falls into maybe last place, because Catholics first hold to traditions, the traditions that only they have, no one else. And then they hold to the magisterium, the dictates of the Pope, and so forth. Whatever the church comes up with, whatever the Pope comes up with, that is what they're going to go by. And then they have the Bible as a resource, but they also believe in Greek philosophy. If you study the Roman Catholic Church, it was built on philosophy, and to this very day, they approve of a lot of philosophy in their beliefs. So, if the Catholic Church gave us the Trinity, because it's recorded, you cannot go against the Council of Nicaea 325. You cannot go against the Council of 381, Constantinople. You cannot go against the Council of 431, the Council of Ephesus. All of these, if you follow the ecumenical councils, all of these point to the Catholic Church as changing the gospel and Hellenizing it and giving it its own twist of beliefs. So why? I want to know, why do Protestants say that the Trinity is biblical when there's so many facts to prove that it is not? The Catholic Church admits that they formulated the doctrine of the Trinity. The Apostolic and Ante-Nicene Fathers of the 2nd century onward, they formulated the Trinity doctrine from philosophy. And they have this in their catechism, clearly that the Ante-Nicene Fathers were responsible for formulating the doctrine of the Trinity. By the time it went to the Council of Nicaea, it was already in a certain form where they could adopt it and pronounce it and make it into law. Worse than that, the history shows us that Eusebius, the historian, was there at the Council of Nicaea, and he was also a philosopher. And if you read the Eusebius ecclesiastical history, he connects clearly with one Philo of Alexandria and talks about him as being such a wonderful, intelligent man, which the church has followed. And Eusebius wrote down all the books that Philo wrote. He gives the name of every single book that Philo wrote in the ecclesiastical history. That's how important Philo's teachings and books were to the Catholics. Apart from admitting that the Ante-Nicene Fathers formed the doctrine of the Trinity from philosophy, as stated in the Catechism, they also state in the New Advent Catholic Encyclopedia that they took the Logos teaching from none other than Philo of Alexandria. So there they connect clearly with the first century Jewish Greek philosopher Philo of Alexandria, who was a Platonist. He followed the Stoic philosophy. He followed so many different theories of philosophy. He was not a Christian. So the Catholic Church admits that they took their teachings of the Trinity from the fathers, who the fathers were philosophers who took their teachings from philosophy and directly one Philo of Alexandria. It's in their writings. This is something that we have to discuss and we have to bring it up in debates. We have to bring it up and really show Protestants what they're really doing is they're lying to the people. Because if the Trinity was biblical, then it would have been there without the councils, without the using of philosophy, without the using of Philo's Logos, without all of that. We would have the Trinity because it's in the Bible, but it's not in the Bible.